It's Monday live time. I'm a little late actually, after 8 o'clock. Get a few people to sign on and we'll start piling up some watches. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Cowboy Swami is here. Brad is here. Oh wow, a bunch of you guys are chiming in. Billy Bob's here. Billy's usually got to work too. Craig's here. Let's see. I've been told I can select. So I just selected Craig as a moderator. I don't know if Craig will be here the whole time or whatever. So I've been told, yeah, I can click on the name and I can hold it down and then I can set those people as moderators. I don't know what power that gives them, but I don't know. Might be useful later on in the future. Hey, Jorge is checking in. Thanks. So, yeah, Monday. I do have a few things to share with you guys, for sure. Well, moderators would probably be like my Patreon group. Hey, look, so let's select my buddy Michael, add as a moderator. Hey, I think they can go through, I think moderators probably have the access to go in and, potentially like do something to comments or anything like that. So I added a few people there. Yeah, I can do, hold on a second. I'm learning here, I'm learning. This is all stuff that I probably should have learned a long time ago. But maybe that'll be useful. Get rid of trolls, yeah. I think I've had issues with that early on, but doesn't really seem to be too much of a problem now. And certain comments, people like they're just playing around, having some fun and stuff like that. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. I don't have a problem with people speaking their mind or doing whatever, just having some fun. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it. If anybody gets like insulty or anything like that, then yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, can't have that kind of stuff. That's not popular anywhere. So, what is the monster holding? Oh, the transparent or semi-transparent or whatever G-Shock man. I don't know. They're just toys, right? So I figured I'd throw it up there, make it look like he's dying or dead or something, and the monster's holding him. I don't know. Everything's a toy if you play with it, right? All right, let's see. So I know this is already a watch that I shared before, and I still haven't really had a chance to fully play with it. But Patreon member of the Random Rob group wanted to check this out, so I hit up my buddy John over at the Watch Gauge, asked him to send this model over so Keith could get a look at it, and myself and everybody else. So John sent it over. John's awesome to work with too, by the way, guys. If you guys haven't purchased anything from the Watch Gauge, give it a try, especially if there's a watch there that you actually like. It's actually pretty slick setup that John has going there. So these Drakens I think it's Draken, are like $350. Automatic Seiko movement. I know it looks kind of titanium, but it is actually like a blasted stainless steel. So 120 click bezel. Oh, hey, Chris with a super chat there. How's the sell-off going? What are you going to buy? Well, Chris, I sold a couple of more expensive watches in the collection my affordable collection, the expensive type watches. I sold a couple of them to Patreon members, actually, kind of on the down low. So I actually shipped those out today. So the Manta's gone and the Zen is gone. Shocker on the Zen. I know that kind of threw people off. So, well, Bob, yes, that was an April Fool's. I'm not selling everything. I'm just embracing the part of the hobby that I like, and that's the super affordable stuff, whether it be a Casio, G-Shock, or a Seiko, or a micro brand. That's where I have the most fun within the hobby. So I'm just gonna, get back into my rhythm, with buying and selling and everything like that. So that's typically how I operated. So I still get to see a ton of different watches on the regular, just because you guys, the viewers, send things in, the Patreons send things in, the brand owners send things in. So all of that good stuff. Chris also asks, what do you think of the SLA 021 MM300? Just got one. I think that's a great watch, and if you like the Marine Masters, that's probably the one to get. I think that one is, in my opinion, probably one of the best ones. I do have en route. I'm not sure when I'm going to get it, but that newer, I believe it's a Zimby, the green MM300. I'm going to have that on the show here. Probably, I don't know if it'll be this week, but next week for sure. That's being sent in from another buddy of mine. So let's see. Romy says, I always buy in advance, which forces me to sell. I've been selling off vintage lately. Yeah, that's, I don't know. Sometimes I do that too. Sometimes I'll pre buy with the understanding that I need to sell to pay off that other debt. I do that too. A lot of us do that. Cowboy Swami says, the spring drive tuna are nice too. Yes, I had Doug sent one of those in. I did have one of those. Alex says, asked, did I find a replacement for the replacement bracelet for the Zin 104? No, I kind of just gave up. So I think the Zin bracelet's probably honestly the best one for the Zin 104. It just is what it is. Please, no strap bracelet change videos. Oh, did you watch that? I did pretty good. Did you guys watch that video that Dave put out on his channel? I put a link on my community tab or whatever. I thought I did pretty good. I performed pretty well. So, Chris, man, you better cool it with the super chats, buddy. I appreciate it, but you can just ask the questions too. You don't have to do that. I appreciate it though. What do I think of the new Seiko Divers 2020 models? There are a few that I'm really excited to see. One is, of course, the Patty Monster. I do want to see that. I'll probably purchase one. And the smaller, I don't know the part numbers. I can't remember them. The smaller 62 MAS, like reissue type one, that's really when they first did it. That's how all of us really wanted to see it, not the oversized one. That one's good for a lot of people too, and certainly not the SLA model, which was like limited and super expensive. That one just didn't really fit most people's budget. So I'm excited about that issue, that reissue, the new model, as well as the Monster. And then I forget, there's some good ones out there too. So Ronan says he's debating on the JDM Patty Monster or normal black bezel blue 4th gen Monster. I just want to see the Patty. I've had so many different Patty models in the Seiko lineup. I just kind of want to see it. Rob, any thoughts on the strap change pliers? Speaking of bracelet changes, I actually use a Leatherman Squirt, and I almost always have one of those in my pocket. I left it upstairs, but that's kind of what I use. It seems to be small enough and enough grip without actually marring up anything. But I usually don't use pliers for strap changes. Let's see, wrist check. SBBN tuna on end mill for me, Jeff McMahon style. Yes, those tunas are very good. Let's see, thoughts on the Zen 556A with H-link bracelet. I'm so back and forth on it. Depends on your wrist size and what kind of look you're going for, but that is a killer combination. Does the Patty Monster have a steel bezel or is it colored? It is colored in like an anodized blue looking color. So much like the SRP 455, I think it is. Oh, I want to keep my computer going over there. So let's see. How did you survive as guest of live chat down under sometime back? Well, I basically just didn't really talk much. That was easy to survive when you're just kind of hanging out in the corner there. Greetings from the country, former user. I recently bought myself a Casio for $35. Casio owns the affordable market. They make a ton of great watches at all different price ranges. Chris asked, why are you selling the SRP 309 or are you keeping it? Chris, I assure you and all of my other viewers that my Seiko Orange Monster will never be sold. That is a, you guys never have to worry about that. I will always have this watch. That is the one that will always stick around. Many may come and go. I have some other ones that are technically kind of keepers too, but my Orange Monster is going to stick around. Okay, let's see. Let me show you what I am wearing, because there's like 100 people watching or listening or however you guys are partaking. I am wearing a dust-covered Christopher Ward. Yes, with the Christopher Ward hanging out over there on the dial at 9 o'clock. I'm wearing the blue C65. I don't even know what this model is called. Well, I didn't buy this one though. Christopher Ward sent this in through their marketing department for me to review. So I sized the bracelet up and I've been wearing it for a couple of days and I really like the C65 case. So let me get interrupted here. Ralph asked, hey Rob, or hi Rob, I want to buy a beads of rice bracelet. Any recommendations? Depending on what you are buying it for, which watch you are buying it for, but Uncle Seiko makes a really nice beads of rice that you can buy in a regular. There are some other brands out there as well, but I know the Uncle Seiko one is very similar to like what's on the NTH and even similar to what is on the Doxa. So Uncle Seiko, check them out. John asked thoughts on the value of the King Turtle right now. Seen it for $390 new on eBay. King Turtles at 400 and below is a sweet spot. That is a very good watch. It's a good price for a very good watch. Let's see. Eric says, didn't see any deals for the Christopher Wards. I have a fellow Patreon that we talk on the Discord chat on the regular, and he said they posted up their daily specials like super early in the morning. So, you got to remember they're in a different time zone. So in the US, it was super early in the morning and there were some good deals on there and they got gobbled up really quick. I don't have the Uncle Seiko and the strap code bracelets in front of me, so I can't really compare them, but they're probably similar in quality, similar in price, I'm guessing. So let's see. Romy says the Christopher Wards make him wonder why he even looks at the Omega. Well, Omega's next level, guys. I mean, they have their own in-house movement. I mean, it's just so much better of a watch. But when you're talking about price points, yeah, the Christopher Ward really does punch above its price point for sure, with the quick release spring bars attached on the metal. That's slick. Their clasp is amazing and not oversized, double pushers, very easy to operate. Easy to operate, micro adjust on this guy. I will say sizing these bracelets is not fun. It's much like a Tag Heuer where it has the pin and collar, but the collar is the full length of the midsection of the link there. But their new light catcher cases, both in the C65 and in the, let me grab my C60, and their C60, both these cases are home runs for sure. I like both these guys. So I will buy a C65 when they do a screw down crown. That's their Achilles heel, I feel, at this point with that particular model. This is a push-pull crown. And that works for most people, but with it being an oversized crown and the undercut on the case, and I'll show this all in the video when I do the review of it, it's easily caught on things, which will pop the crown out and then stop your time, and you might not even realize you did it. So forget the fact that you've actually compromised your water resistance. Say it's a dry day and it doesn't really matter. You just stopped your clock. You know what I mean? Best case scenario, you popped into the date position and nothing really happens, which is most likely the case. I doubt you're going to pull it all the way out to the hacking position and not realize you did it. But their new release of their World Time in the C65 case has a screw down crown. So it leads me to believe that maybe future models of the C65 case will also have the screw down crown. So I think unless you really don't care and you just want to do it anyway, or you're waiting for like the really good deals, whether it's a 30 or 50% off on one of these, then it's a good deal. But I think if you wait, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I think you're going to see this case on a regular with a screw down crown, which will be really nice. All right, where are we at? Moderators are having fun. I wasn't reading comments there for a minute. I was just talking about boards. So speaking of Patreons, I finally Pete sent in his Trasca, and I finally I kind of strung him along a little bit. I'm sorry about that, Pete, but I finally did pay for the Trasca, so that's added into my collection for now. We'll see what happens. Of course, I have the NTH. I know I haven't done the video on it, but on Beads of Rice, I have the Azure and Lazario or something. I forget. There's limited edition watch gauges exclusive on those, so I have that, and I'll do a video on that. Let's see. Yeah, the Trasca. I'm digging the Trasca, and I have a gray dial one en route. And then there's I'm going to be micro heavy this year for sure. Let's see. Chris with a super chat again asking, what do you think of the SBGC 201? SBGC 201. Hold on, I'm going to look it up. Let's see. SBG. What was that? SBGC 201. I'm looking it up. Hold on. I don't see it. Oh, that's the chron. So that's a Grand Seiko chronograph. Wow, that is. Well, for one, I'm not big into chronographs, so it's definitely not my thing. But it's a stunning looking watch, and I like those lighter dial colors, especially when it comes to the Grand Seiko. It looks like it's a very complicated watch. The pushers look like they're a little bit too big for my taste, especially since I don't like the chronographs, but they look like massively screw type pushers. So I'm gonna kind of be on the no camp with that one. It's a really cool looking watch, but the pushers and the crowns and everything are just a bit much. So let's talk about a couple watches that got sent in. Oh, Joshua's here. Joshua, I sent out the Zin. You should have it soon. 2 days, I think it said. Escapement and watches here. So I did just get a package today from my buddy Dane at the Celine Driver channel. So he sent over this guy, which is a pretty small digital Casio here, multi-planner. So this will be kind of fun. I don't know if I'll be able to get a video on this, but I'll try to. Looks like it's got a lot of things going on because it has really easy to use pushers here and everything. But it's a pretty small watch. That one's pretty cool. I'll definitely check that out. Thanks for sending that in, Dane. He sent over an envelope here. I guess I can open it. Cowboy Swami sprays his packages with Lysol. I open them up and lick them. I don't really care. I mean, I probably should care, but let's see. And then the multi-planner digital, nice little watch. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The other one he sent over, this one's slick. You guys will like this. If you guys are at all Seiko fans, you're gonna like this watch. Oh, I think I accidentally started the chronograph on that thing. So this is a vintage Seiko. You guys are all doing the Lysol thing. That's cool. You're keeping Lysol in business. Let's see. So Dane says this is a 1982 production type chronograph from Seiko. Let's get the chronograph going on it. Interesting bracelet. Pretty fun looking. It's crazy thin on that thing. Very cool, fun looking watch. Tachymeter doesn't move or anything. Wow, that thing's pretty cool. Yeah, so we'll have to check that guy out too. Very fun looking Seiko. Yeah, the clear G-Shock guy is down for the count. All right, so let's check out another Casio that another Patreon sent in that I actually need to pay him too. I think he's maybe in the chat. Let's see. I forget what the model is on this. Casio puts all their models on the back though. This is a Pro Trek, which I know I haven't had one on the channel in a while, but this is the PRG 330, full digital display, super easy to read, but yet it's a smaller model and very, very nice, comfortable watch. I can tell right away. So I'm going to pop the ward off. I want to try this Pro Trek on real quick. Yeah, this is a slick watch. This would be a good. I mean, that's not usually the Pro Treks are just massive. This thing just feels so good on wrist. It's lightweight. It's crazy affordable. Yeah, this thing's pretty slick. This would be a good like hiking watch or something. So we got that guy in here. We got some quartz watches in. What else? Oh, we have another quartz watch. Let's check out another quartz watch. This one I picked up from my buddy Clayton, who is in the chat and a Patreon member. This is a very cool G-Shock, and I love the light gray color. This is the vibrating alarm type watch, the GD350. The vibrator. Vibration, it's the vibe alarm. Yeah. So this is a very cool watch too. I like my G-Shocks. This thing's pretty slick. And you can set up the alarm like just with I think Clayton was saying it's very easy to set up, just one click of the button sort of thing. So I have a lot of Casios coming in, guys. I know a lot of people love the Casio videos, and then there's people that kind of complain about them too, but Casio's like, yeah, so you set the alarm up and then just hit the start button, right? So, but what is it at? Let's see. The alarm's at, I don't know how many alarms there are. So. Oh, it's going to, well, how do I stop it? Oh, well, the alarm's going to go off in like 29 minutes. So that'll do a thing later. Yeah, so it's going to do something later. I'll probably forget about it. It's probably going to jump off that pile of watches there. All right, so what else do we have? So we have some watches that a friend of mine down in Hawaii sent in. These are some, he's always sending me really cool watches too. My buddy Chris. Billy Bill wants to know, what am I drinking? Why do you just assume I'm drinking? So I am drinking something I usually don't do. Elijah Craig bourbon whiskey with a little bit of Coca-Cola. I haven't done that in a while. Tastes pretty good. So let's see. So Chris sent over this very interesting gold tone Bambino, which is still just like one of the probably best affordable dress type watches out there. So very cool watch. Let's see. Someone's drinking Wild Turkey. I have not had Wild Turkey in a while. Jack Daniels and Diet Pepsi. See, I mean, sometimes it's just nice to go like old school. That's kind of an old school drink for me. Is, you know, I used to probably do like rum and Coke or something like that. And originally I was thinking, I kind of had my palate was ready for potentially like some gin, and my wife makes this simple syrup, homemade simple syrup for the tequila. Well, I don't know what the drink is called, but I take the gin, put it on some ice, put a little bit of simple syrup in there, and then squeeze some lime in there. That's called something, but well, it's not Elijah Craig's not. It's still like a $30 bourbon. It's not like I don't feel too bad about mixing it. There's other I wouldn't mix like Angel's Envy or I don't know, whatever, some like really good stuff. So Chris again with the super chat asking, you think one? So I think he's saying, do I think first and second generation monsters will keep going up? No, I think they're kind of plateaued right now. It's all gonna the market is gonna fluctuate on those up and down and on certain models at all times. I don't really see a huge demand for them right now either. So we'll see. I think monsters may have kind of like stabilized. You can get really nice ones for around $400 or $500 now. So Chris sent over 3 watches. The Bambino was one. Bruce is in the chat. Rob's Monsters with 20 quick. So here's the deal with the value of my monster. Is like it can't be. It's like a Rembrandt. Like you can't. You can't put a price on it. Like it's not. Like I don't even put it on my like insurance listing because they can't cover it. Like it's not. There's no. Yeah. So James actually gave me the name for the drink I just described. It's called a gin gimlet. Gin gimlet. I might have to rename that. I don't know if I like the gimlet. Okay, so the other watch that, the second watch that Chris sent over is a Dan Henry chronograph and on a beads of rice. And very cool. I love the color that the treated crystal is giving. One problem with this, and I don't know if you can see it, there are some scratches on this guy. So it's like a sapphire treated crystal that they put on this. But it needs a new crystal, which I've been told by Chris that I think Dan Henry would send a crystal that could be put on. So it's going to need a crystal, or just wear it the way it is and whatever. I don't think you can polish that off. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think you can. So, did you guys have another earthquake? Okay, so the other watch that Chris sent in is a nice Hamilton. I think you guys will like this. Hamiltons are always nice to have on the channel. I gotta get it off the pillow. Hold on. Real question. Randy's asking political questions. We can't talk politics, guys. I mean, we could, but I'm not going to. That's not what this channel's about. So, Chris sent over this guy here. This is the mechanical wind. So we're going to go ahead and wind this and get it running because we like to see our mechanical watches running. And these are smaller too, so like much more traditional size. I know quite a few people. I can think of one close friend that would maybe consider checking this guy out here soon. Wow, you pop that crown out. That is solid for being a small watch. That is solid. So I don't think I've had the PVD coated or whatever this is on the channel yet. Crazy thin. I like the strap they have on it too, the matching hardware. And then, tapered and capped end piece there. A little bit shorter NATO. But man, that is a very nice looking Hamilton as well. Yeah, that is. I don't know if, I could pull off the smaller Hamiltons. I'm sure I could. Let me pop it on. No, this one, this Hamilton is not a screw down crown. I was surprised to see that 46 millimeter Hamilton I had on from Mimo a little bit ago had a screw down crown. I was kind of surprised to see that. That was kind of fun, which leads me to another thought process. I'm like, come on, Hamilton, if you're putting it on those monster watches, you can put them on these. I really like that black with the gray. That is a killer look. I might have to figure out I don't know if I want this watch, but I need to find a black case stainless steel watch. That is a killer look with the gray. Interesting. You can look at all the pictures you want and everything, but until you get them on wrist and handle them, that's when it really hits you. You're just like, wow, that looks really good. let's see. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. But I have all this money burning a hole in my pocket because I sold a couple watches. That's what we do. We sell a couple watches, right? PayPal's looking good. We got some money built up in the PayPal. We go watch hunting. We're looking. Bruce says sell more. Yeah, but I already had, like, I could buy more, have more coming in. It's all just a constant turnover. It's the way of the watch flipper for life. So I can talk. So somebody said something about the white dial Omega Seamaster. I can talk myself into that watch, and I can talk myself out of that watch, all in a span of like 3 to 5 minutes. It is absolutely nuts. So I think the only solution is, because I'm still kind of in love with the Christopher Ward. I think the only solution with the Seamaster is to get the black dial one. That way I can keep my white dial Christopher Ward. That's my logic. Bob talks. Yeah, so I do that too. Like I'll cycle through wanting a watch, justifying it, obsessing about it, watching all of the videos, looking at all of the pictures I can, and I know a lot of you guys do this too. And then you can kind of just talk yourself right back out of it. I don't know if this was in AM or PM. We'll find out here in a second. Oh, well, I guess it's ready for tomorrow. I might have to pop this thing on. Yeah, well, I mean, originally, what my happy space was like $500. Now my ceiling kind of got pushed to 15. I don't know that I ever really had a ceiling, because I mean I've owned much more expensive watches. The Omega Seamaster Professional, the Tudor Black Bay, that was the red bezel one I bought off from Bruce. The Black Bay 58 that I bought off Homer. That was more expensive. The Rolex Oyster Perpetual, of course. I'm trying to think of. I think that's about it for all the expensive watches that I've had. But yeah, I think I've gotten to the point where there's diminishing returns. So yes, this watch for $760 checks the majority of the boxes that I wanted in a white faced dial, diver. But that doesn't make the Omega less of a watch. The issue I kind of calculate in my head is, best case scenario, I'm probably going to pick up that white faced Seamaster for $4,000. So it's literally $3,200 more than this, because it's an Omega and it has better materials and it has an in-house crazy awesome anti-magnetic movement. But I mean, how many of these can I buy and just straight take a magnet to it and destroy it? How often does that actually happen before I've actually paid for the Omega, when I'm a serial flipper on top of all that? So I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure I'll own one of those Omegas at some point. I don't know if it'll be the white dial or it'll be the black dial. Or, I mean, hell, it might even be the silver dial with the blued hands that I know a lot of people actually kind of don't like. That one's actually starting to kind of grow on me because so many people don't like it. I like the watches that other people. So Hodinkee just put out a video of the white dial Seamaster, and I know tons of people are going to see that, and there was already enough attention on that watch to draw even more attention on it. I was just like, I kind of lose interest in it. I'd rather have a mint dial Trasca or a. I'll tell you what I really like is having the Volt Edition Notice, the 1 of 1, stuff like this. This really gets me excited, stuff like this. So, I mean, it's kind of like, why fight it? I almost feel like sometimes I'm forcing, some of the icons in the watch hobby. So that's just not me. That might be you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I like what I like, and I, typically is not what a lot of other people like. Almost killed that. All right. Yeah, one of one. I actually hit up Notice again today. I just realized I never reviewed the Notice Duality. So I definitely want to check one of those out. I know they're out of stock right now, but I hit up Wes at Notice, and hopefully I'll hear back from them. I know they're doing a restock on the retrospect. There's a Duality, and they are working on the a new model too. But let's see. I want to ask, are you going to get a Patty Monster? Yeah, when those come available, I don't know. Hopefully that's soon. I'll probably order one in. We'll see. How do we get the Volt pieces? Well, AZ and MBNZ. So Notice, you got to follow them on Instagram. Check out their podcasts. Like, get involved with the Notice community, and maybe talk to them. Check them out, and they will potentially do more Volt types things, but it'll be small releases, maybe 20 to 50, 40, something like that. Whatever number they choose, they might do small batch Volt edition ones, and that's where you need to be involved with the Notice community, and then you can get your hands on one. The one of one thing like I did here, that's not realistic for in most circumstances. That's just something I think it just kind of the stars aligned for me, and it just kind of worked out for me because they had just come off a model that they used that handset on. So I don't think that's going to happen again like that. I think they're very busy with just getting regular production out, and hopefully I'll see if I can talk to them, see if they're doing any other Volt Edition ones. But yeah, let's see. Trying to read some comments here. I blabbed long enough. Let's see. Yep, I'm doing good. I think most people in the chat are doing good. Pete scored a 1 of 1. What did you score, Pete? 1 of 1s are awesome. From any brand that's actually like, it doesn't even have to be a big brand. Like some of the early on micros, to pick up a 1 of 1 of them, that's just so cool. That is so special. Let's see. How many G-Shock squares do you have now? All right, let's count some G-Shock squares. I think I have the gold one, the titanium one. I have my 56 gold titanium 5610, the 35th anniversary, the Christmas, and then the camo. So I have 6, but I'm working with my buddy Billy Bob to potentially have 7, number 7 and number 8 of the square. So pretty soon I could potentially have 8 square G-Shocks, and all of them will be kind of keeper status. They're pretty slick. Another watch I know you guys have already seen if you're regular on the show. Did I sell the brown? You mean the like the tan camo brown square? No, I didn't sell that one yet. This Astor Banks, I'll be doing the video on this week. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I need to do this one. Stefan, you've been looking at the Christopher Ward GMT, the white dial. Okay, so they have the white dial one with the orange hand. I have it on my screen. And then did you look at the C65 GMT World Timer? So it has the white bezel with the yellow trim and then the black dial. I kind of like that one. That has the screw down crown. Enrique, the wood squared. No, that one's gone. So I had the tan wood square one and the white wood square one. I had both those, and those are both gone. Oh, James. Yeah. The Citizen Bullhead is slick. That is such a cool watch. What is they made an aluminum square? What if they made an aluminum square? If they made an aluminum square, it would be inferior to the stainless steel and the titanium. However, I would probably still buy it. How do I feel about the other Christopher Ward C65s? Well, I like most. So the what we're calling, or what they're calling, is the light catcher case on the C65 and the C60 that I'm wearing. I absolutely love the case. Not a huge fan of the bezel. I do kind of like this watch more, and I'm probably going to catch hate on this, but more than say the Oris 65. But they they must incorporate a screw down crown. This is a push crown that does not work for this watch case with this crown combination. So, what are the negatives with the Aura 65? Nothing. That is a great watch. If you like that watch, that is a great watch. I just don't connect with it. And this case profile on this Christopher Ward, I actually connect with better. But that's just it. I'm just waiting for them to come out with a screw down crown and a little bit different dial design or something with this C65 case. And then this bracelet combo, I'll be all over it. I'll buy one. If and when that happens. I suspect it will happen. Let's see. Jay is grabbing the new Digicami MTG. Let's see. Any suggestions on a black PVD or DLC 40 millimeter with bracelet? Well, 40 mil. I don't know if this Astor Banks, they this, I don't know if you're trying to stay with a certain size, but they do make, so this Astor Banks, they actually do make a full black, I think it has the full black bracelet too. Pretty affordable. I think they're doing a pretty good price on it right now too, like 650, 680, something like that. So it depends on what kind of price point you're looking at. But there are some black cased micros out there. Some of them might be a little hard to find. Like Notice did the retrospect in like a blackish or dark case, but they only made like 40 of them. That would be one that they could potentially do again in, say, a Vault edition. They could do another run of the retrospect with a black case. We could talk to them about maybe doing that. But I don't think they have the black bracelet. That's the problem. A lot of these companies will do the watch case in black, but then they won't do the bracelet. So I think that could be the challenge. Yeah, you're right. The bracelet is the real kicker. There's not a whole lot of black bracelets out there because they scratch up. Even with the DLC, they'll kind of still scratch up. Ronan's saying the Patty Monster is available for $500 right now. I think I'm going to wait for the US release and get it from Mimo. I'm kind of over the jumping on the JDM thing. Let's see. Where are we at here? I can't think of it. If anything else pops in my head with the black bracelet. You can get... Oh, great. There's Christopher Ward 65's homage already. That ruins watches for me. Let's see. You can get older Seiko Monsters with the black case and the black bracelet. Just saying. Some of them are pretty affordable too. Oh yeah, the Orient Ray Raven. You can get that too. That comes on a black bracelet. Good point. My biggest issue with the Orient Makos and Rays are the crown size. Just, it seems too dainty for the case size. But it's not like unmanageable. It's still a really good watch. Digituna potentially, Ray Raven. No, the Orient Ray Ravens are not 44. They're like 41. They're not big. They're totally fine. They're closer to 40. I think they might be 41, 42 maybe. Let's see. I got 154 people watching. You guys must all really be bored. Let's see. Special edition G-Shock watches, worth it or just a gimmick? Well, my big issue with G-Shock is that they don't actually number. Can't think of a single one that they actually number. So even this titanium square camel, even when they first came out, it was supposed to be limited. And now they definitely, now that their first run actually kind of sold out, and then their second run is kind of like there's inventory of these, like they didn't sell out. So, but I think the biggest issue was that $1,600 price tag on it just kind of squashed the fear of missing out. You know, they surpassed that available market. So I think at the price point of like $1,200, $1,300, you would definitely sell more, and you can actually get these for around that price now. Killer watch, you know, if they would have actually gave us on the case back, I mean, it doesn't need to be on the front. The front's already busy enough, but on the case back, if they would have gave us, say it's limited to 3,000 pieces or something. I don't know how many they made. Don't hold me to that number. I just threw that number out there because I know they made more than like 500. But whatever the number is, if they would have numbered these, I think they would have sold more, even at the $1,600 price tag. But they didn't, and I think that was a mistake. I think all limited editions, if you're going to do an actual limited edition, we need to know exactly how many you made and what number mine is. And maybe even a piece of paper or a medallion or something. It needs to be the whole experience needs to be part of that. And then I'm on board. I mean, I still obviously bought it, but I think that's something a lot of brands need to do. David asked, do I care about watches holding their value, or do you not really care? I feel like I only want watches that will hold value a bit, less of a risk. Well, what is the risk? So the simple answer of your question is, yes, I do care that they hold value. But it's not as important as it is to some people, I guess, because, you know, I buy micro and a lot of micros don't hold their value, and I don't always understand why certain ones do and don't. So I still, if a watch calls to me and I really, really want it and I want to check it out, I will push aside any sort of like obvious value retention. I won't even go looking at it, like go on eBay or Watch You Seek or whatever like that, or Watch Recon, wherever you can find that information of like what watches actually sold for versus what they on the secondary market versus what they sold for on the new market, whichever market you're buying on. I won't even go look at that. Like if I actually like the watch, I won't research that part of it, and I'll just purchase the watch on emotion. So sometimes emotion can override the need for value retention. But if you're a serial flipper, then yeah, you kind of need to hear and research and fully understand what you're getting into, because I mean, this is a good example. You know, a lot of people bought this at 1,600. Well, I'll tell you what, even a better example. This is even a better example. And they didn't come out with a gold one right away, but I think it was the silver one. When these first came out, I think me including paid close to like $1,000 for one of these G-Shock on the steel. And now you can pick these up used, because later generations came out, and you can pick them up used for like $350, $450, something like that. So all of those people that initially paid close to $1,000 for one of these, I mean, have a big like sucker written on their forehead or something, right? So somebody capitalized on that. I don't know that the profit margins were necessarily huge, but I don't know what happened. Yeah, so Billy Bob, you're right there. I did it too. You know, but I was trying to do it partly because I really wanted to see it. I was excited about it, and I wanted to be one of the first people to post up a video on it. So I definitely had the fear of missing out, and I just said screw it and I did it anyway. But when you go to sell it, the loss margin is much larger on something like that versus where now the price on these is even brand new. Well, assuming if you can find one, is like 550, and then you might be able to sell for like 350 to 450. So the percentage of the loss is much lower on the current market versus that first generation. Same thing with this guy. I don't know the percentage difference, but say you bought this one for 1600 and now they're selling used for like a 1200. I mean, you just lost $400, which is a lot of money. I mean, that $400 buys you that Trosca right there. So, I mean, it kind of sucks. So, yeah, I think unless you just have expendable cash and you don't care and you just want to like go crazy in this hobby, then knock yourself out. But if you're a serial flipper and you have a budget, then yeah, you better be well aware of the value retention on watches and don't buy them brand new. Buy them from the person that bought it brand new, already lost that depreciation. I mean, this is just like anything else, cars, anything else, knives. In certain brands, if you're really in tune with the market, certain brands will it'll be a net zero loss. They'll either absolutely hold their value or could potentially go up. Michael, you know this. So yeah, put your money in G-Shock. So if say you like G-Shock Frogmen, those are safe bets. Like Frogmen do not go down in value. Go look them up. You have history on your side. You have all of the information there. You can go look it up for as far back as you want, and you are going to see that G-Shock Frogmen do not lose money. MTGs are not safe. They are not safe. There are certain models that are just not safe, even though you and I maybe would think that they are. So, yep, Mike's right. Frog Pond is good to go. Zin 104s, good to go. You might lose a little bit of money, but if you buy used, you're not going to lose any money. Tudor Black Bays, I don't know. They've kind of come down. If you bought it brand new, you're going to take a little bit of a hit. Tudor Black Bay used. Well, it depends. I guess depending on what model. I should reiterate. Depending on what model. So depending on what model of the Tudor Black Bay, you'll be okay. I think I was just talking to Bruce about this. Like, what first generation Tudor Pelagos? I think you're going to be safe on those. Or the Casio FW91, totally safe. You're good there. Yeah, there's a ton of watches out there that are safe. Ooh, good question. Cowboy Swami, how do you like the Tudor Ranger? I've come close to buying that watch a couple times. I was actually at an AD, a little story about Tudor. I was at an AD. This is the actual day that I bought the MRG that I had for a while that I actually sold. But I was checking out the Tudor Ranger, and the mere fact that I actually picked it up or checked it out from the case, the salesperson instantly started throwing like low numbers, almost like reverse bidding, trying to get me to get that watch and take it. So if you are interested in a Tudor Ranger, go to an AD and pretend like you don't want the Ranger. Go look at the North Flag. Actually, you can get deals on the North Flag too. But go look at like the Black Bay 58 or the other Black Bays or any other watch. But like pretend like you don't give any care towards the Ranger or anything like that, and they will give you that Ranger. You can get a deal on that Ranger. On the flip side of that, if you're a keeper and not a flipper, I think that Ranger has the potential for being one of the most valuable Tudors in, say, 10, 20, 30 years down the road because of that fact alone, because it has no attention drawn to it right now. And it is a very good watch. Let's see. We are in a recession. All watches have dropped value. Not all watches, Desmond. Not all watches. Let's see. Kevin says you can get a in-house Tudor Black Bay Heritage for less than the ETA version, which is crazy. Me personally, if I'm going to buy a Tudor, I want the ETA. I want the ETA model for one reason alone. I trust ETA. I can have any watchmaker service it, and I think it has longevity on its side. Nothing against the Tudor in-house movement, but I know personally from people that are in the industry that have told me that there's issues or were issues that they've worked out with their in-house movements. The ETAs are not going to have that same problem. No Tudor, please. I mean, I don't own a Tudor. I'm not going shopping for a Tudor, but I could see where a Tudor Ranger would kind of make sense. If they had a fitted bracelet, I'd be all over it. But, let's see. Only one watch I've ever regretted selling, surprisingly, is the G-Shock 350. Just repurchased it. Yeah, I don't know where it is on its countdown, but that thing's going to alarm off soon. It's a very cool watch. I like the gray color on it. I know I think they have a black one too, but I don't know what that was. Something's beeping. Yeah, the Tudor Rose is really cool. That is something that I think a lot of us like on the Tudor. The Tudor Black Bay 58 is a sweet watch. That wasn't because of the alarm, it just moved. Let's see. It's going to shake. Pretty soon, I bet. Pretty soon. We're coming up on close to an hour, so. Zin has many cool models. See them on Instagram as well. Yes. And I think we can almost count on a Zin 104 limited edition every year in the springtime. I think we can almost count on that now. I'm excited to see what the model is in 2021, and I can almost guarantee you that I will buy it. As soon as it's posted up, I'll probably buy it. I'll be one of the first ones, and I urge you guys to try to beat me because it seems like I get those before a lot of other people do. But let's see. 356 is cooler, so save me now for when you flip it. Look, Joshua's already calling dibs on the Zen 104 2021 limited edition, calling it super early before the watch is even conceived. Let's see. Did I get my Trosca some materia? No, but I've been talking to the owner, and yeah, John said that they'll be doing those soon, and I'm on the list to get mine. So, when am I making car-related vids? You know, I've been messing with my Jeep Wrangler, but I haven't really made the vids. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna stick watch-related. Jay Rees asks, I mentioned a micro coming out that looks like the Aquaterra. Yes. So Borealis, it's in the works. Everything's kind of in a little bit of a delay, but the Borealis, shoot, I forget what it's called, but I'll get you some video. I'll get you some information on it. And as soon as there's a prototype, I'll make sure Carlos gets me one, hopefully. But it looks amazing. It's going to be so good. Much like the Adraga is, I mean, it's going to be like so good that you're definitely going to want one. But so picture the Borealis Adraga is, now picture that for the new release that they're going to do that's going to be kind of similar to the Omega. It's that good. What about the Batavia? I'm not sure about where that one's at or what's going on with it. Let's see. Ooh, the cat's gone wild. Is an ISO certification really necessary in a diver? No, I don't give a crap about it. I don't dive. I don't care about the ISO. I don't care about ISO certification in any industry. All that is for like stockholders or something. I don't care about ISO certifications. Have I checked out the Smith's Everest? I have not had one on the channel yet. Hopefully I will if somebody sends one in. What's the model of the CW that looks like the Oris, Esteban? Are you talking about the... so this is their Lightcatcher C65 case. They have a bunch of different variations of it. This is not my actual favorite one, but I do have to say in low light, this blue is almost like a country blue, but with a little bit of metallic. It's very retro, classic car type color. It's very cool looking. I mean, and the case is amazing. It's so thin looking, even though it is like a, by the time you add the case back and the box sapphire, well, I can measure it. I'll do a video on this one this week. It's still really thin, even with that. I mean, it's like 11.3. I mean, if you were to ditch, which I don't know if this thing is dependent on the box sapphire. I can't imagine it without it. It just kind of fits the design characteristics of it. I mean, it's so good. It's so clean and legible. And that thin bezel. I don't care for the bezel action on it, but it is a very good looking watch. They need a screw down crown. Christopher Ward, I know you're listening. Fix that. And I think they are. I mean, because if you look at if you go to their website and you look at their world timer, it has a screw down crown. So, and their bracelet, their quick release. I mean, that's seriously awesome. This is, if you can get these on sale, especially because they do sales all the time. Floridian wants to see live razors. There's already so many really good channels out there for shaving and everything like that. Billy Bob, Christopher Ward Watch Tour. Yeah, you know what? Let's make that happen. I think I might be able to work that out. Let's see if we can make that happen. Let's see. I don't know who Bruce is talking to here. Stick to high-end unless you find a killer Zin you like a full tegmented U1 or something. He must be talking to somebody about the Zins or something. Let's see. All right, you guys want to see it? I mean, I could see if I can order up the if I order a Ward, I either want the diver, which I already have one, or we need to order, trust me, I'm very close to ordering that GMT world timer, and I don't even like GMT watches. I have no desire to own a GMT watch unless it actually has a true jumping hour hand, which for some reason no movement manufacturer has put out to the broad market a jumping hour hand. I don't know why. I don't know what that's about, but it needs to happen. So the issue with Ward that I have also, I love the brand, but I have so many issues with them too. I kind of feel the same way about Doxa and some other brands too. But so they hired a marketing company that I have to deal with, and they are not very good to deal with. I don't know the name of the marketing company, but Tennessee Mike, also the VAT. So two things. Christopher Ward, I know you're listening. Ditch your marketing company, and if the marketing company's listening, I'm going to go ahead and light that match and coat that bridge in gasoline and just go ahead and burn it because I don't really care. The marketing company needs to go away. Christopher Ward needs to hire one person to deal with all their marketing. They also need to set up immediately, as in like yesterday, an authorized dealer in the United States. That needs to happen. Like, how have they not done that yet? All right, Christian asked, Rob, if you had to pick only Seiko or only Casio? Okay, well, first of all, I would pick this. So if we were going to exclude the SRP 309, my Orange Monster, the answer is going to be Casio G-Shock, and it's probably going to be the Gold Bling Master. So no more watches for you. Yeah, seriously, if Christopher Ward's watching, hopefully they're smart enough to listen to some of us social media folk. But I might burn a couple of bridges when I actually do the video for this C65. So if it's 100% going to be dependent on the marketing company, this very well could be the last watch that they actually send me, which is fine. I don't really care. I'll buy them. If they make a watch that I actually want to see, I'll buy it. I'm not shackled to anybody, sending me a watch. I can buy it. One of you guys can buy it, send it in. I don't really care. I'm not going to I'm going to tell you exactly how many times this crown popped out on me today when I was wearing it while I was actually doing work. I'm gonna say all that stuff in the video. Well, I'm also gonna say that the bracelet is amazing, that the case is amazing, that the movements work really good, that their designs are really good. So I'm gonna say all of that stuff too. I think it's a very good watch, but they need to do a little bit better. So I typically focus on all the positives, but when it's a brand like Christopher Ward or it's a brand like Doxa or something like that, they need to do some stuff. Yeah, Clayton, you're right. They need to listen. If they don't listen to us, the customer base, then they'll lose us and they'll be 100% dependent on whoever else is buying that watch. I don't know who they're marketing it to, but they're going to be 100% depending on them and not the rest of us. So I still have not checked out Yamaha. So that's another brand that have reached out to me. They said they were going to send a watch and then they dropped off. So again, I don't know if it's a matter of like what's going on in the world or if it's a matter of whoever that person is that's in charge of that department or if they hired a marketing department. There's so many parts to all these cogs that are in these wheels for a lot of these companies that that there's opportunity for failure. So Tennessee Mike says they'll become a fashion brand if not careful, and maybe they're fine with that. Maybe they're fine with um, maybe they're fine with their authorized dealer in the U.S. actually being Macy's. The problem with that is that's very short-sighted when you see all these huge department stores and certainly a lot of like even chain jewelry stores closing up on the regular. That is not where the future is at. The future is the way we are buying now. So if you're selling automatic watches at affordable prices, your market is us. That's you and I. That's who they should be marketing to. If they're trying to be in, boutiques next to other big brands, they better be careful with that because I really don't even think that's the future. Sad to say, I like brick and mortar. I deal with Saltzman's and I deal with Mimo and I deal with, I've talked to Mark at Long Island Watch and all of these guys. And I think there's a place in the market for all of those brick and mortar, but they not all of them are going to make it in the long run. And a lot of it's just going to be done via social media and direct sales. So they need to make sure they understand who their customer base is. No, Bridgman. No, me and Mimo, we're good. We're buds. Mimo's a boss. Mimo listens, and that's why he's working with like me and Bruce, and he sent watches to other YouTubers. I don't even know them all, but he's in tune with the future. So, so is Mark at Long Island Watch. He's in tune with the future, and so is Saltzman's, and that's why they're reaching out. Saltzman dealt with TGV, and now he's dealing with me, and he's worked with Bruce, and so that's staying current. That is the proper method. But those guys are not manufacturers. Those guys are just selling what the manufacturers are doing. So they are limited by what the manufacturers are doing. So, I could go into a big long story, and maybe I should, about how some of these manufacturers, or even I don't know, I don't know the full supply chain, but whoever the people are that are dealing with the brick and mortars, some of the way they're treated is really not good. And if you guys really had the story of say like how Doxa say operated with some people, you probably wouldn't buy Doxa. Let's see. Gotta be careful. I got a couple drinks in me. I'll start dropping truth bombs. Let's see. I'd feel bad to drop close to $1,000 for a Christopher Ward. Instead, I'd rather add a bit more and go with an Oris or a Tag Aqua Racer. Okay, so you're not wrong on that, and I agree with you on that. The issue I have with that is the Oris or the Tag, you better buy from an authorized dealer. So you're not talking about adding a little bit more, you're talking about doubling it. So you can spend $1,000, say, on a Christopher Ward, or in my case, $760, or you're going to have to spend $2,000 or more to get that known, 100% known, authentic Oris or Tag Aqua racers. I'm assuming you're talking about the Oris Aquas. You're going to spend 2K. If you're going to get the Tag Aqua racer from an authorized dealer, even with a little bit of a discount, you're going to spend 2K after you pay your taxes and your shipping and all that stuff, or however you're buying it. So it's not a matter of spending $300 more. You can get those watches for a little bit more than $1,000, but you run the risk of getting a fake. So be careful with that logic. And Dirk, the Aqua Racer is awesome. I tried to buy one today, but I cannot score an insane deal on the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer 41 millimeter from an authorized dealer. So if I really want it, that means I got to pony up or I have to move on. So today I chose to move on because I was afraid to put myself in the same position that I felt like I was kind of in before, where I was just buying more expensive watches that I'm comfortable with. Esteban, you're right. Saltzman is $300 or $400 more, and you can go gray market, but gray market is gray market for a reason. You better know what you're doing. I would personally rather buy used from a good used dealer that you know that the used watch was purchased from an authorized dealer before I would buy gray market, if that makes sense. Yeah, we are all bad influences. That's why sometimes you need to watch the Jeff McMahon videos so you can get an understanding of how bad we are. I love his videos when he talks about like some of the deeper thoughts on the hobby. Let's see, who are we talking about starting a channel? Do you have a channel? Yeah, everybody start a YouTube channel. I'm trying to get. I've been talking to my buddy Clayton, which who just commented, Canine Cardio. We're trying to work on maybe getting a little podcast thing started. I'd like to work with all you guys. We'll try to get. Yeah, that could be a that could be a podcast name right there. Hopeless Watch Addicts. Yeah, we need to get more content going. There's podcasts. Like I was driving around while I was working today, listening to the podcast. I was trying to catch up on the Notice podcast today. There's live streams with like Dane, a Celine driver. So live streams, podcasts, special guest, YouTube channels, all of that. We need all of that. So is the more information we have and the more knowledge that is spread, I think the better. So, I mean, Bruce kind of suckered me into doing this, and who knows what will happen. Esteban says cars, beers, and jujitsu in cars. Okay, you're gonna perform jujitsu on cars. The Notice podcasts. I'm not very good at finding podcasts when you look them up, but yeah, it's primarily Wes. I mean, Wes and Colin are both on there, but they'll have special guests on there and stuff too. It's very good podcast. So I'll try to link it. I don't know if I'll be able to link it. Rock the Watch said he started the channel and it's a lot of fun. If it's not fun, you're not going to do it. Yeah. So it's called the Notice Podcast is Long Roads is what it's called. Yeah, Michael started one. So Desire 68's got one going. Yeah, I mean, Scottish Watches and Jody had a podcast on today. I have not listened to that one yet, so maybe tomorrow we'll see. I'm still trying to catch up with the Notice one, and then the Two Broke Watch Snobs. I listen to those guys every week. I think I like the kind of more down to earth podcast type ones. I love it when the micro brand guys start to expand on what they're all about too. So okay, you guys are gonna work on something. That's good. We need to make that stuff work, man. Ah, the Jesus phone asks, "What do I think will happen with the 2020 releases?" Well, the 2020 releases that are relevant to like what I look at, some micro brands typically, or even Seiko and stuff like that, they're just all going to be on like a 2 to 5 month delay. You're still going to see them all. I think the biggest problem when I talk to some of the micro brand owners, um, they're talking about one of the biggest hurdles is going to be movements, but the movement supply has seems like it's been a big hurdle over the last few years anyway, whether it be a Swiss movement or the Japanese movement or whatever. And quite frankly, I'd like to see maybe some more of these Chinese movements. There was even talk of the USA produced movement. I would like to see that utilized more. There's opportunity for movement makers to step it up where there's voids in the market. Yeah, I already forgot. There's good articles and everything on that new Chinese quote ETA type movement. That's a very good movement. I forget what it's called, um, but yeah, that's a good movement. See, Jay Rees asked, "Have I heard anything from Orion watches?" Yeah, I talked to Nick occasionally. Nick Harris over at Orion. He was gonna send me one of those Hellcats, but we haven't connected or anything like that. But he's busy. He does watch repairs. He does some content occasionally. I haven't seen anything lately. Um, but he's got the Hellcat going, and he's doing some new options for the Calamity as well. So yes, Craig, thank you. The PT 5000 movement. Um, it is a very good movement. I think the biggest hurdle that's going to be with the PT 5000 is people accepting it. So what needs to happen, I think, is a couple of micro brands need to put out really killer watches with just the PT 5000 movement and prove that it's a good platform. Don't put out an option, say like I don't want to pick on anybody, but say like a micro brand puts out a really cool watch, but they have an option of either a PT 5000 or an SW200. Don't do that. Don't give an option. Only include the PT 5000 and then show and prove to the market, to the buying public, that it's both affordable and accurate and good. So yes, Kevin, good point. Gakoda has been using it in a couple of models. I would buy one. I have no problem with that movement. That is a good movement. We're way past an hour. I thought this thing was supposed to alarm or vibrate or something. I don't know when that does that. Gakoda, hopefully we don't burn bridges with. I don't have a bridge with Gakoda, so whatever. I tried to reach out to Gakoda. So I'll burn that bridge right now, actually. So I reached out to those guys a while ago. They were working with, is it Gakoda? So, with their straps, I think it's all the same or whatever. But they were working with CG or Crystal, if you guys remember. This is old school. This goes back a couple of years. But she was doing a really good YouTube channel. And I hope one day she emerges from that cave and just picks up like nothing ever happened and picks up her channel and starts going again, because I will be excited. I'll maybe even do a happy dance. But I told them a while ago she had a deal going with those guys, and I reached out to them. I said, "Hey, she's gone, guys," and I basically kind of threw my hat in the ring and was trying to poach them and say, "Hey, I would like to work with you," because at that point my channel was a little bit smaller than Crystal's was, but I knew that I was kind of on the growth part of my channel. So they kind of like said, thanks for the heads up. I'll check into it. And then they got back to me and said, "Yeah, you're right, she is gone." And then they went and talked to like some other YouTuber that I had already passed. So basically, they burned that bridge with me. So as far as Gekota goes, whatever. I don't really like if they reached out to me right now, I'd probably pretty much tell them to get bent. So straight up, Gekota, if you're watching, get bent. And that's why you've never seen like I've had a couple of Gekota watches on the channel, and they're good watches. Well, one. I've only had one watch I think on here, and I won't buy another one, and I won't buy any of their straps or their bracelets and everything like that. And they make good stuff. They legit actually make good stuff, but they weren't willing to work with me, so my little diva action kind of got pulled out, and they're done. They're dead to me. So bridge burnt. But seriously, get Coda, reach out to me. Let's work something out. Free watches and straps. I'm not afraid to burn bridges, guys. Yeah, Bruce has been doing live streams with Mark. Mark's fun, and Mark's funny too, because like he'll go full like flaming Mark mode in certain within certain audience, but then he like gets like either me or like Bruce or something on it, and he tries to like kind of like, all right guys, calm down, like we got to have like a cleaner show. Bruce is here or Rob's here or whatever. Like, Mark, who cares? It's not like you're hiding something. Like, we know who you are, Mark. Bruce needs to get his full computer set up and his webcam and stuff like that, and we can probably do some more live streams. But sometimes I would almost rather just go on Mark's show. They talk way beyond probably certainly my desire in the hobby. They talk Rolex and a bunch of brand names that I can't even pronounce and everything like that. But so I feel kind of like just out of place. But I think their show is still entertaining, but I just don't know where I would fit in with that. Where at least Bruce can go in there and he can actually add some value to the conversation where they start talking about brands that I know nothing about, and I start just daydreaming. I don't even have any interest in what, $30, $40, $50,000. Yeah, all those brands, the Patek, the AP, the JLC, all those. I have no interest in any of those watches. So I would rather do live streams with people that want to talk about like Notice and Draken and Seiko Monsters and Troskas and G-Shocks and Dan Henry's and Astor Banks and NTH and Christopher Ward's. That's where I'm at. That's the level I'm at. I think you need a British accent to talk about Patek. Patek? Is it Patek or Patek? I don't know. See, I can't even do that one right. That's a very simple 2-syllable word. And I can't even do that word correct. So I don't even know if that's true. I'm not even going to address that question. Let's see. No, I'm not. I'm not asking for you guys to explain to me how to say Patek or Patek. I don't even care that much to know like how to actually even say it. Tank is checking in from Guam. No, you're late. We just got started. You're not late. Where's the MTG? I sold it. Randy wants to know why you were given a timeout. I don't know. I'm not in control of that, man. I gave so many people great power, and with great power comes great responsibility, and they may have abused it. I'm not sure why you got put in timeout. Gotta put your pinky up. Oh, okay. When I put my pinky up, I don't know. I don't have anything left in my glass, so I can't put my pinky up. Celine, oh, Dane's in there for timeouts for political remarks. That's why. There's the explanation. Let's see. Joshua says that Timeless Watch Channel did a fun video on pronouncing the different brand names. I usually enjoy his vids. I may have to catch that. I probably won't retain any of the information, but it does sound entertaining. Oh, look at Dane. Dane is blaming it on me. I can take it. I don't really care. I think I can say Hublot. Hublot is correct, right? Randy's looking for another timeout. Right? You guys are funny. All right, I went way too long. I usually only go like 60 minutes. And I still haven't seen any vibration out of this thing. So I think this thing is faulty. Clayton, I want my money back. This thing did not vibrate. But it is still a very good looking watch. So maybe we can renegotiate. Kaz calls it hub. No refunds. Dang it, I send it friends and family too. So that's the problem when you're buying watches from people you think you know and trust, and you send them money via friends and family, there's no recourse. Anyway, guys, I got to sign off. I'm done. I'm going to end up just getting too silly. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to close you out with a loom shot, though. We definitely have to do a loom shot. And I don't know if he has a patent on that or anything, because every time I say loom shot, I don't know if he gets like a cut of my my Google AdSense, but loom shot coming up. Let's see. Esteban wants a Ric Flair. Look at it. The 3D printed monster. If you've not bought one of these, shameless plug for my buddy. 3D print. I'll put a link in the video once it loads up. Go to his Etsy store. Pick up one of these loomed monsters. These are insane. Look at how it dominates the table. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.